Hey, welcome back to the channel, my fellow weather junkies. I'm your host, meteorologist Greg Majeski, your trusted weather source, bringing you the weather without all that social media hype here on your first day of spring, March 20th, 2025. Let's take a look at what we're tracking here for today. It's welcome to spring, but for parts of the country, it's sure not feeling like it, as old man winter is going to be sticking around for some folks. In fact, we got a couple of cold shots, especially in the east. So it looks like we're going to see below normal temperatures here, at least looking at the first 10 days here heading out toward April. Now, as far as our next severe weather event, we have a couple of minor ones to track, but I really got one here heading toward around the 1st of April I want to keep a watchful eye on. I'll show you the latest model trends on that as well. Now, before we get going, first I want to say thank you to any new subscribers out there. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner. Hit the notification bell so you're alerted on future content. And as always, if you appreciate this report, please leave a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. It does help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. All right, let's look at the big pictures. We're looking at the satellite picture from coast to coast. We have one exiting storm system, the one that brought us the blizzard, the severe weather across the Midwest. It's moving on out, and some much colder temperatures are replacing it here in the east. Got a weak system here in the Intermountain region, and we're still looking at a pretty active flow here across the Pacific Northwest, where that's where the bulk of the heavier rain will be showing here over the next, say, 10 days or so, and we'll show you that as well here in just a little while. Looking at the surface map from coast to coast, again, we're saying goodbye to this one storm system here, heading up, down, bringing some rains there across areas of Pennsylvania and New York, some snows across portions of Idaho, a little wet up here in the Pacific Northwest. Middle of the country, not bad, but a little chilly. There's 10 degrees there, 18. Remember, we got some snow in here from yesterday with some of that heavy snow that moved in with the blizzard conditions, but definitely went from snow in Chicago, had severe weather, and then went over to snow here in less than 8 hours. Just amazing to see that. Let's take a closer look here. Some of this rain here across eastern portions of Ohio, getting some rains here, getting ready to move into toward the Pittsburgh area. Youngstown getting a little wet as well, so a little bit of a rainy start here across the eastern portions of Ohio going into western Pennsylvania. Now, as far as the Storms Prediction Center is concerned here, not really looking all that bad here for today. We do have a couple of pockets we're going to be watching. We've got some thunderstorms here across the east coast and a little pocket here back over Idaho and into areas of Montana, so not looking bad there. Let's take a look at the days ahead and see how those are looking. So let's check out the day 2. We'll head on over to that. And you see the day 2 outlook. Again, just a couple of pockets of regular thunderstorms here across Iowa, into Illinois and Indiana, and across areas of the Pacific Northwest as well, going back over toward Montana, Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. How about the day 3? How's that checking out? There we go. We got one little pocket of marginal here across areas of Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and into Arkansas. So we'll have to watch that closely. Again, that's going in for your day 3 going into this upcoming weekend. And how about the extended outlook? There's one other day I do want to highlight here. I closed that inappropriately, so let's go back here and check that again. And again, we're talking about heading into your day 4. There's that pocket right there. Just got updated here from the Storm Prediction Center. Again, this goes for Sunday and Monday, so we're going to watch this closely here. Again, areas of Tennessee stretching back into Texas and getting into Alabama. We'll watch that. Again, I don't think it's going to be a big outbreak, but something we're going to watch closely as we go into this upcoming weekend. All right, one good news here for the next 3 days. We don't have any excessive rainfall to worry about, so no flooding concerns. So again, kind of rehashing here what we're seeing here with our severe weather outlook. This has just got updated, so we're going to see a severe risk in here. Obviously, some heavy rains in there. A little windy out here toward the west there across the front range of the Rockies. And also looking at some heavy precipitation, which we're going to see, obviously, with that flow I just showed you there across areas of the Pacific Northwest. So let's go ahead and look at your model forecast here. Again, what we're going to be looking at is we got this big trough here coming in here with the cold air zipping down here across the eastern third of the United States. Again, we got a couple of minor systems here that we kind of watch here. We got the little trough energy going into this weekend, so we're going to watch this little dip here. This is what's going to be responsible for that little bit of active weather for the weekend. But again, not really that bad, folks. Really not looking bad at all. That moves on out. And then as we go along here, we got another little system here coming into the areas of the Northeast going into early next week. So you notice you got a little bit of a dip here. So we'll have another cold front to track going in toward Monday. So that's not looking too bad. But definitely look at this configuration going toward Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So when you see that, obviously we got some ridging in the west, so warmer here, and we'll bring in the cold air out here as well. Pretty big storm system here off the west coast there. That'll be kicking up pretty good there as well as we head toward the 26th of March. So let's go ahead and continue this onward again. I want to show you the real configuration that's got me concerned as we head toward the 1st. Is this dip of energy here coming in off the west coast. So it's this piece of energy back here. It's going to rotate around the bottom of this trough, and that's what's going to have to be watched closely as we go toward the 1st. Now, keep in mind, this is 300 hours, so obviously it is subject to change. But that configuration, obviously, we got a low pressure here showing up in here, and we got a very strong jet diffluent flow. Textbook setup for potential severe weather as we head toward the 1st and 2nd of April. We'll watch that closely and see if that becomes a trend as the models get a little bit closer here and this moves on out. So let's go ahead and look at your high resolution forecast. We're looking at the short range going for about 36 hours. So we're going to say goodbye to this system that's tracking here in the east. This will be moving off this way. So we'll see things begin to improve there. And then we also got a little bit of activity out here in the west as well with that onshore flow and a little bit of snow out there. So let's go ahead and watch this. Again, watch that timestamp in the upper right-hand corner as we see this thing slowly begin to pull on off, not looking too bad there at all as we go through the period. So looking good. And this moves on out to sea. So this goes on out. So a bit of a rainy, wet day here going through the first day of spring here for the Pacific, for areas of the Northeast, I should say. In the Pacific Northwest, also looking pretty wet and rainy. You can literally see a lot of rain here falling here along the Washington and Oregon coast here as we go in through today and going into tomorrow. Now, as we go through the day on Friday, looks like we're looking pretty good. Got a little weak system here tracking across areas of Iowa, stretching back into Wisconsin. Very wet and rainy and just snowy out there in the areas of the Intermountain region there in the Northwest. And that'll begin to move on inland. But that's all we got here going in toward Friday as we wrap up the week and get ready to go into the weekend. So how's that weekend looking? Let's look at that. Okay, so we're going to start looking at this as well. So we say goodbye to that system once again as we're looking at the latest European model here. And we got this weak system coming in for the weekend. So we're going to have to watch this closely. Again, you saw that thunderstorm threat. We got to watch this closely as we got this nice little cool shot coming down here. So we'll watch to see if we get any severe weather. Again, right now I'm thinking marginal. Maybe you get a slight in there, but I don't think it's going to be too big a deal as this moves on off. And we're looking pretty good there going in next week. Got a little cold shot coming down here. So once again, you see this freezing line here coming all the way down south here, going down into areas of the deep south. So my friends and watchers there across North Georgia that want to do some planting in my neighborhood, I always recommend to wait till after the 1st of April before you get any ideas there. The mountains should wait a little bit longer than that. So it looks like we got another cold shot going into next week. And then we're going to watch, again, heading toward the 1st. Watch this piece of energy coming into the 1st of April. So here it is right here. This is going into the day prior, going late in the day on the 31st. So that's what I'm about to watch closely. Pretty good snows in there as well. In fact, we got a couple of snow events we got to watch this next few couple of weeks here as this goes on up. That little piece of energy goes north, and then we got to watch that. So boom, that'll have to be watched. That could be a potential slight, maybe enhanced area of severe weather based off the way that intensity is currently looking. But again, keep in mind, folks, this is like 11, 12 days out. It's going to change, but we're going to watch to see if that continues to be a trend. That's what we look for. Beyond a 7-day window, you're looking for forecast trends, which has worked out pretty well, especially with some of these bigger systems we've had recently. So this moves on off, clears on out, and then we got another system to watch out here in the Intermountain region. So some areas are going to get some snowy conditions, and I'll show you the snow totals here in a second, where we're supposed to start spring, and some people are going to get the heaviest snows that they've seen really all winter. Didn't see that much. All right, so here's that storm threat. This is kind of a snapshot. So this is what I'm watching here going in toward the 1st. So we look like we could see pretty decent squall lines, some thunderstorms up in here. This is the K index, kind of measures your thunderstorm outlook. So this is the snapshot period that I'm looking at for the 1st, for comparison's sakes. So as we get closer in time, we'll come back and check this and see how it verifies out as we get a little bit closer. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the precipitation here over the next 3 days. Really not looking bad for going into the weekend. I could say that's looking pretty good. So go out 72 hours here, again, going into your weekend. A little bit of rain here in the west. The heaviest rain is definitely going to be out there in the Pacific Northwest. That's where things are going to be pretty wet with that onshore flow that we saw there. And I'm going to take this all the way out to 240 out for the next 10 days. Again, not looking too bad here in the east. Decent rains, but not too bad. The heaviest rain continues to be out there in the Northwest. And we'll go ahead and take this out to the end of its run for comparison. Yeah, it starts to get a little more heavy there beyond the 10 days. So between 10 and 14, looks like things begin to get a little more heavier with the precipitation down here, especially here in the eastern half of the United States. Now, what about snow? We're not done with that yet, folks. I know it's supposed to be the first day of spring. It doesn't magically turn off. It's a little bit of a transition. So let's go ahead and take out the first 3 days here. We got to see what's going on with that. So the next 72 hours there. Again, not bad. We got some snows out here in the Intermountain region, in the Cascades looking pretty good. A little bit here across the Great Lakes. But it does get snowier. It's showing that trend there as we go on out for the next 10 days. Look across the Great Lakes and into, oh, what a surprise, the Northeast. Boy, that has been a very snowy winter out there across the areas of the Northeast. Get the mouth to work here. And a little bit of snow is there across Chicagoland. And once again, showing a lot of here out the Intermountain region. It's going out for the 10 days and then taking this out to the end of its run, which of course is a little bit of a guessing work. But look at what it's doing here with the snows across portions of Wisconsin and Illinois. We're talking well over a foot of snow in some of these locations here. If this is to verify out, obviously we're talking about something that's still good ways out. But look at these snow totals here, showing upwards of over 2 feet. Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it. But we'll keep watchful on that as we continue to see bouts of snow possible as we go for the next 10 days. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the 6 to 10 day outlook here. The latest from the Climate Prediction Center here. As we saw this trend, we got a couple of cold shots coming down here. So again, this goes from the 25th to the 29th here across the eastern half. Milder here out in the west. Going out a little bit further, still holding on to that cool trend across the Great Lakes into the northeast. Much milder here for a big part of the country as we get ready to head into April 2nd. Again, we're ready to make that transition into April, and that's when severe weather season really gets going. We'll keep a watchful eye on that first to see if that kind of works out to be a problem. Precipitation-wise, a short-term 25th to the 29th, below normal here in the southeast and across the four corners. A little active here across the northwest. That clearly lines up pretty good there. And going out further from the 27th to the 2nd, it did look like we got a little more progressive pattern. Remember the precipitation I was showing you there from 10 through 14. It definitely looks a little better there. Still a little dry across Arizona and into New Mexico, but fairly near average for a big part of the country as we go deeper into the month and get ready to make that transition into the month of April. So that is your overall look right now. Again, not looking bad. We got to watch for that active weather potential here for the weekend. Right now, I think a marginal slide across areas of the southeast, not looking like anything like we had last weekend, where we had over 90-something tornadoes, 100 tornadoes, I believe, with a total system there. There were a few EF4s in there as well. Nothing on that scale with what we're seeing for this weekend. We will keep a watchful eye on that system as we head toward the first. Hey, if you appreciate these reports and you'd like to make them as a normal part of your YouTube feed, all you got to do is please hit that that subscribe button, not the like, that's Facebook. Go say subscribe there in that bottom right hand corner there, and give me a thumbs up. You got something you'd like to see, got a weather question, again, please post that down below. I'm more than happy to answer your question, and I do appreciate you supporting us here on the Weather Nerds channel. All right, that's your update for today. You guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.